Okay. So we're looking at I Am That,
Chapter.
and the chapter that I'm reading from tonight is chapter 51, Be Indifferent to Pain and Pleasure, but I'm starting on page 240. And this is, so the questioner says to him, how am I going to get rid of these thoughts? Their endless chatter distracts and exhausts me. And now this is Nisargadatta. Watch your thoughts as you watch the street traffic. People come and go. You register without response. It may not be easy in the beginning, but with some practice, you will find that your mind can function on many levels at the same time, and you can be aware of them all. It is only when you have a vested interest in any particular level that your attention gets caught in it and you black out on other levels. Even then, the work on the blacked out levels goes on outside the field of consciousness. Do not struggle with your memories and your thoughts. Try only to include in your field of attention the other, more important questions like, who am I? How did I happen to be born? Whence this universe around me? What is real and what is momentary? And no memory will persist if you lose interest in it. It is the emotional link that perpetuates the bondage. You are always seeking pleasure and avoiding pain, always after happiness and peace. Don't you see that is your very search for happiness that makes you feel miserable? Try the other way, indifferent to pain and pleasure, neither asking nor refusing. Give all your attention to the level on which I am is timelessly present. So, what he's saying, which is the important point here, when he says, give all your attention to the level on which the I am is timelessly present. By that he means the sense, the feeling that I am, that I exist, I am here, I exist. On that level of I am, that level is not the ego level. The ego level is I am short, I am tall, I am fat, I am thin, I'm a woman, I'm a man, I'm a teacher, I'm an artist, qualified I. No, he's talking about the I am. The I am
Prior to thought.
prior to thought. The naked I am. Timeless being. Timeless being. Because it's timeless, because it's always now. The sense I am can only be now, right? The feeling I am, I exist, is now. You think about yourself yesterday or a year ago or 7 years ago, but it's happening now. You think about the future, but the thinking is going on now. It's timeless because it's now. It's outside of time. So he says, give your attention to the level on which the I am is timelessly present. It's always present. You are never not aware of your own being. Soon you will realize that peace and happiness are in your very nature, and it is only seeking them through some particular channels that disturbs. Avoid the disturbance, that's all. To seek, there is no need. You would not seek what you already have. You yourself are the supreme reality. Look, to begin with, he says, trust me, trust the teacher. It enables you to make the first step, and then your trust is justified by your own experience, because it's got to be your own experience. It can't be a belief. It's got to be an actual experience. In every walk of life, initial trust is essential. Without it, little can be done. Every undertaking is an act of faith. Even your daily bread you eat on trust. By remembering what I told you, you will achieve everything. I am telling you again, you are the all-pervading, all-transcending reality. Behave accordingly. Think, feel, and act in harmony with the whole. What does that mean? When we're acting from the me, we're a fragment because we condense, right? It's the me with my memories, my experience, my view of things. The lens through which I see the world and other people is based on my conditioning and by this me that I believe myself to be. But he's saying, when you act from the whole, you're free of that me. You're not condensed. You see the whole thing. So that's what he means. You act in harmony with the whole, because there is no me with its private, personal agenda, with its fears, with its concerns, with its worries, with its opinions and conclusions. That's how he says you want to be able to be in harmony. And the actual experience of what I say will dawn on you in no time. No effort is needed. Have faith, act in it. Please see that I want nothing from you. It's in your own interest that I speak. Because above all, love yourself. You want yourself secure and happy. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't deny it. It's natural and good to love oneself. Only you should know, what exactly do you love? It's not the body that you love. It's life. Perceiving, feeling, thinking, doing, loving, striving, creating. It is that life you love, which is you, which is all. Realize it in its totality, beyond all divisions and limitations, and all your desires will merge in it. For the greater contains the smaller. Therefore, find yourself, for in finding that, you find all. Everybody is glad to be, but few know the fullness of it. You come to know by dwelling in your mind as I am, I know, I love, with the will of reaching the deepest meanings of those words, the deepest meanings of those words. And the deepest meanings of those words can only be without a me. The questioner says, well, can I think I am God? He says, don't identify yourself with an idea. If you mean by God the unknown, then you merely say, I do not know what I am. If you know God as you know yourself, you need not say it. Best is the simple feeling I am, the feeling I am. Dwell on it patiently. Hear patience as wisdom. Don't think of failure. There can be no failure in this understanding. Question, but my thoughts won't let me. Pay no attention. Don't fight them. Just do nothing about them. Let them be, whatever they are. Your very fighting with them gives them life. Just disregard. Look through. Remember to remember. Whatever happens, happens because I am. I exist. All reminds you that you are. Take full advantage of the fact that to experience anything, you must be. You need not stop thinking, just cease being interested. It is the disinterestedness that liberates. Don't hold on, that's all. The world is made of rings. The hooks are all yours. Make straight your hooks and nothing can hold you. Give up your addictions. There's nothing else to give up. Stop your routine of acquisitiveness, your habit of looking for results, and the freedom of the universe is yours. Be effortless. Well, the questioner says, life is an effort. There are so many things to do. He says, what needs doing, do it. Don't resist. Your balance must be dynamic, based on doing just the right thing from moment to moment. Don't be a child unwilling to grow up. Stereotyped gestures and postures will not help you. Rely entirely on your clarity of thought, your purity of motive, and your integrity of action. You cannot possibly go wrong. Go beyond and leave all behind. Oh, but can anything be left for good? Oh, well, you want something like round the clock ecstasy. Ecstasy come and go necessarily, for the human brain can't stand the tension for too long. A prolonged ecstasy will burn out your brain unless it's extremely pure and subtle. In nature, nothing is at standstill. Everything pulsates, appears, and disappears. Heart, breath, digestion, sleep, waking, birth, and death, everything comes and goes in waves. No use rebelling against the very pattern of life. If you seek the immutable, go beyond experience. When I say remember I am all the time, I mean come back to it repeatedly. No particular thought can be mind's natural state, only silence. Not the idea of silence, but silence itself. When the mind is in its natural state, it reverts to silence spontaneously after every experience, or rather, every experience happens against the background of silence. Now, what you have learned here becomes the seed. You may forget it, apparently, but it will live, and in due season sprout and grow and bring forth flowers and fruits. All will happen by itself. You need not do anything. Only don't prevent it. So he's advising to stay with this feeling, not even thoughts in the mind, I am, I am, I am. No, 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 no. Just with the feeling of existence. And he says, no matter what's going on, if every once in a while you come back in the middle of whatever's going on and connect with that sense I am, there's a little bit of a lessening of the me. See, the me, which he calls the false self, is obviously very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. However, he calls it the false self because you can see it. There's an awareness of it. There's an awareness of the body. There's an awareness of the mind. There's an awareness of the thoughts. There's an awareness of the sensations. There's an awareness of everything that's going on here and also outside and inside. What is it that's aware? You cannot be that which you can see. I mean, that's clear, right? Otherwise, how could you see it? So what is it that's aware? What is it that's aware of your thoughts, of your feelings, of your emotions? What is it that's aware? That's the question. Now, according to the teaching in non-duality, reality, the definition of reality, is that which never changes. Everything changes. You heard him say that here. Your heart, your breath, your digestion, your body, your mind, your thought, everything is constantly changing. But the awareness, that's the aware presence that sees that, is not changing. It's the changeless background upon which change is appearing. But we don't give enough attention to that. Like he said, we give a lot of attention to our thoughts and we hold on to them. We get on the train with them.
We're addicted to the changeful.
Yes, correct.
The passing show.
That's right. That's right. But we are not very interested, well, maybe because nobody ever points it out to us. What is it that's aware? What is it that's never changed? What is it that was there when I was 3, when I was 23, 33, 63, and on? What is that? That awareness, that never changed. Situations changed. The content of consciousness changed, but not the awareness. That never changed. And he says, that sense I am, which is the aware presence, for now anyway, he then goes deeper, but for now, it's that aware presence that I am. That aware presence that I am is not personal. In other words, the aware presence in you that says, and forget says, feels I am, is the same awareness in me that says, that feels I am. And in you, and in you, and in you. And wherever we find another human being on this planet, everyone has that sense, I exist. I am. It's not personal. That's the consciousness, or rather the pure, non-conceptual awareness that the whole universe is made up of.
And you are that.
And you are that. That's what he's saying. I am that. We don't know it. We don't live by it because we don't know it. Because as you said, we're aware to the addiction of the changing. And it's true, we are. But every once in a while, if you come back to the sense I am, to that aware presence, then you begin to see the changing happening. And what's interesting, a thought appears in your awareness. The thought disappears, but you're still aware. No matter what appears in your awareness, once it disappears, that doesn't change. You're still aware. That's what the teaching of non-duality is pointing to. And, you know, we're all looking for peace of mind. Well, Nisargadatta says there's no such thing as peace of mind. The mind is not peaceful. Now, when there is an awareness of the movement in the mind, then there is a silence. You know that when you're suddenly aware of a thought that you've been holding, that's hurting you because thoughts create feelings and it's painful. And when you see, when there's that moment of awareness and you see the connection between that thought and the pain, in that moment, there's a distance happens. And there's a half a second of quiet, of peace. And then it starts again. But again, it's appearing in awareness. So the question he started this little few paragraphs with was, he said, the most important questions. Who am I? If I'm not the body, because I can see the body, and I'm not the mind, because I can see the workings of the mind, not the thoughts, I'm not the feelings, because all this can be seen. Well, then what am I? And if existence is only in the now, then what am I? And Nisargadatta said, he says, drop the body and the name, and now tell me about yourself. Drop the body, drop the name, and now tell me about yourself. Then what am I? If I'm not the body and I'm not the name, what am I?
I'll read that passage again where he says, what you really life,
Oh, okay. Above all, love yourself. You want yourself secure and happy. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't deny it. It's natural and good to love oneself. Only you should know, what exactly do you love? It's not the body that you love. It's life. You are that life. Perceiving, feeling, thinking, doing, loving, striving, creating. It is that life you love, which is you, which is all. Realize it in its totality. beyond all divisions and limitations, and all your desires will merge in it. You've got to know what it is you love. We think we love this me. And he's saying, nah, that's not what you really love. Because you know how many times you're angry at your me, at yourself, how many times you even say, oh, I hate myself. That's not the me that he's talking about, that you should love, that you love. It's life itself, that aware presence, which is life itself.
Mm.
And in that aware presence, at this relative level of being, we're not talking now about the absolute level, at this relative, everyday level of being. Notice he's talking about perceiving, feeling, thinking, doing, loving. All this without the doer as the me. All these things happen. You don't need a me for them to happen. The me is the personal constriction based on our conditioning and our life experiences of this me. And what is the me? Thoughts, memories? What is it really? But there is doing, there is seeing, there is loving.
Any thoughts? Reactions? Questions? What did you hear other than what we've just gone over? Anything particular stand out for anyone?
Yeah, Evie, you ask, what is the me? Um, and the best answer I can come up with is this very moment. What is going on in this very moment is what I am.
What is that?
It's just a continuous flow of energy, more or less, without being too cerebral about it. It's constant change.
What is aware of that constant change?
Yeah, that is awareness. Yeah.
Right. That's
Yeah, I
right.
think the problem is trying to make an object of what am I?
Right.
And that's when we get into trouble, trying to figure it out,
Correct.
trying to hammer home an explanation.
Correct. Correct. Because the me is an object, but that which is aware of the me is not an object.
Yeah.
So when he says just don't prevent it, live life, be, how did he say? Well, let me just see a minute. He says, all will happen by itself. You don't even need to do anything. Only don't prevent it. How do we prevent it? Is the question.
By getting caught up in the passing show, the movie that plays in my mind, giving that my attention rather than the background on which it appears.
Why do I even need to be bothered with the background that appears? Why don't I just live this life and not even be bothered by all this non-duality teaching? What do I need it for?
You'll suffer less.
What do you mean?
The the more you're identified with a story, with an image of yourself, the more you're susceptible to hurt, uh, the satisfaction of desire that only leads to the next desire. You'll live your life sandwiched between running away from your fears and chasing your desires, but you'll end up nowhere.
Right. Right.
That's how most of us live. We run away from our fears, wanting to protect ourselves, and chasing desires that we hope are going to bring us happiness.
Right.
But as soon as one desire is fulfilled, another appears to take its place.
So what we suffer from is psychological suffering.
Yes.
That because everything you're talking about is psychological suffering. So, and that's directly connected to an image of a me.
Yeah. Psychological addiction to thought. Not using thought as a pointer, but rather identifying with it rather than seeing it as a tool of consciousness, an aspect of my awareness.
Mm-hmm.
I think that question of why would we do this, or why are we doing this, or what the purpose behind us doing this is really important. And I think a lot of times we can lose sight of that. I mean, sometimes people get into spirituality as an intellectual pursuit, you know, a puzzle, a game. Sometimes it's an escape. But I think getting back to purpose is really essential, to recognize what our purpose is in terms of what are we looking to get out of this investigation or this process. And a lot of times when I've heard people speak about it, they say, well, this won't really get you anything, or this won't make your life better. And I think for me, that's the whole reason why I'm doing it. It's as Paul's saying, and some other people are talking about, it's to basically be able to live the kind of life that I would like to live, free of all encumbrances or limitations. If I could sort of just wave my hand and have the life that I'd like, what would that look like? And I think this, for me, what this practice is about is learning what the impediments to that liberation are, and sort of entertaining the idea that my essential nature is joyful. It is powerful. It is limitless. And so I think that's what, for me, that's what this pursuit and this field of study is really about, to basically live the life that I would like to live.
Yes.
Mhm.
Right.
And I think that sense of identity, which we kind of tangentially talk about here, seems to be sort of one of the cruxes of the matter. And I think that's why a lot of these great teachers sort of always come back to that, whether it's Ramana Maharshi or whatever their approach is, it comes back to how we see ourselves, or what our notion of our identity is.
Right. The image we have.
Mhm.
Well, an image or not an image, just even we can see ourselves as free of an image, actually, also, because the image is an encumbrance, really.
Right.
Right. Right. But when you're free of the me, you're free of any image you might have.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the recognition, the power of being able to say, I'm not the me, I'm not my thought. It's really powerful.
Right.
Just the whole notion that no, I'm not that thought. I'm I'm not the body. I'm not the mind, even, you know.
Right. Right. Yes. Agree.
That's why they also say it's a process of disidentifying.
Hmm.
You know,
Right.
disidentifying, pulling back from the identifications, which are the encumbrances.
Well, that's why he said here,
Yeah,
watch your thought.
right.
Wasn't this great how he put this? I thought this was so great. Watch your thoughts as you watch the street traffic. People come and go. You register, but without a response. It may not be easy in the beginning, but with some practice, you'll find that your mind can function that way. In other words, he's saying, yeah, watch your thoughts, but don't respond to them. Let them go. I mean, if you can, obviously, some thoughts are so powerful and they trigger such
Right.
strong emotions that it's a challenge. But if one remembers, wait a minute, I'm not my thought. I see this. I can see this. It can be seen. It puts a pin in it. Even if just for a second, it puts a pin in it.
I
Watch.
find it I find it interesting. You talked about the natural state as being silence, and we say, well, the silence is awareness. But it's interesting that that silence is so full. You
Mhm.
know, it's not really silence. It's complete fullness,
Right.
not nothingness. So
Right, correct. That's right.
It's the no thing, no thing,
right.
right? So it's not the object. No, there's no thing,
Right.
which
No,
is right.
that's
All
right.
these
No,
different words are so interesting in their construction, right?
right. Right.
It's even like I am that.
Mm.
I remember I met this guy one time who was talking with me about I am that, he was talking about the title of the book, but it's telling the title of the book. I am that, and he he was interpreting it. He was in the realm of things. So the I am that basically wasn't telling him anything. Whereas I think what Nisargadatta is really talking about is I am that unqualified
Correct.
absolute
Correct.
that you know.
Right. Obvious.
So
That's right. I am aware presence. That's the
right,
me
exactly.
talking.
Right,
It's
exactly.
it's a sensing. It's not a thinking.
Right. And so it's that notion of that belief that I am not a limited self. And so how can you not be free?
Mm,
How can you not how are all things not possible to you?
that's right.
You the self with a capital S.
That's the self with a capital S. Right. Okay. Well,
Okay. Well, back to watching the thoughts like the people on the street. Uh, Watching the passing show without identifying with it. That's the channel.
well, I'll just say one other thing before we stop, because someplace in this chapter, I didn't get to read it, but he's saying also, or someplace in the book, I don't know if it's this particular chapter, he's saying, think of a movie screen. The stories that get projected on the screen is your me and all your stories. The screen is the aware presence. That never changes. The stories keep changing. We have identified with the stories that appear on the screen, and we never even pay attention to the screen. because without a screen, there wouldn't be any pictures.
Right. And the screen is not affected by the movie being projected on it.
Correct. Correct. The screen is not affected by anything in the story. That's right. So your true nature, what you actually in reality are, is not affected by the changing. And life
I think
is
that's a
constant.
hard thing for, I mean, I confront it all the time. I'm an optimist, so I can tend to think that, people are good and loving and peaceful and all that. And I understand they can be really vicious and at the same time. But the, a lot of people think that, the humanity is just a horrible thing. It's, people are horrible. And, I think the teachings that we have, what you're doing with us now is that no, we are at our essence peaceful,
Yes,
love, and maybe creative and the other things we want to say as well.
right, right.
But yet we still make mistakes. We still
Well,
kill.
of course. At this level,
Hmm.
yes. But at the relative level, yes. There's cruelty, there's viciousness, there's heartache and tragedy and terrible things.
Yeah.
And there's also wonderful things at this level, relative level. But at the absolute level, which is reality, the true reality,
Yeah.
we're all the same. The essence is the same. The I am is the same. Try to remember that the next time you're with someone who's giving you a hard time.
Hmm. Okay, guys.
Thank you so
See you
much.
next time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay,
Thank
Okay,
bye-bye.
thank you. Bye.
you.
Bye.
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 Ciao.
Bye.
Okay.